Yani, thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Exciting times, my friend. You got Departing Seniors, February 2nd on Selected Theaters, VOD. It's all over the place. I watched it last night. I enjoyed it. I love the whole comedy slash horror. Uh, so yeah, let's jump right into this. First of all, what's your thoughts on all this film?
Uh, you know, it was a blast to make. When I first read the script, I it wasn't until I saw it that I kind of like even understood it better because there's so many elements to it. Like as you say, like it's a horror, but it's also a comedy. And I was very sort of focused on just doing my role, but there's the huge world there, so many other like really incredible actors, and it's really a big, ambitious story. So when I got to see it myself, like I really enjoyed seeing it as well, you know.
Yeah, I know I don't want to get into it too much with the spoilers because I love the ending and everything. But listen, you mentioned your role, Mr. Arda. Like, how did you when you first got the script and you read through this for this character? Like, what went through your mind, and how did you decide to play this character?
Yeah, it got sent to me by my agent who thought it was a really great mix and blend of like comedy and horror and also some dramatic elements. And
Yeah,
I really liked it, but I was a little unsure because like horror usually isn't my genre. I'm a little squeamish. It's not usually that I don't usually watch a ton of horror. And but he said, you know what, just meet with the director, hear her out, listen to her vision for what she has in mind. And I was like, absolutely, let's do it. And when I met with Claire, like I was almost immediately sold on the project. She just had such a compelling vision for the script and the story, and it really is about the students. It's kind of a metaphor for how difficult it is to go through high school,
yeah.
and that really appealed to me because I, like most people, had a lot of challenges in high school, and it really felt like a story that was as much about that as anything else.
Mm. How would you describe now like the your character's storyline and like the relationship between teacher student?
Yeah, I think my character almost sees himself or wants to be one of the like he wants to be buddy buddy with the students. You know, you
Right.
have that teacher who wanted to be friends with you. They weren't just sort of an authority figure, but they really wanted to relate to you.
Mm.
And those were the teachers actually that I enjoyed most. And so that's really what I was going for. And what was cool was like as a cast, we were very tight and we got along really well. There's a lot of chemistry behind the scenes and off camera, so it made it a lot easier when the camera was rolling to just sort of feel like we were connecting to each other.
Mm. What was the biggest challenge playing this character? Any challenges?
So the biggest challenge was honestly, as soon as I got to Chicago, because that's where we shot it, I got COVID like literally
Oh,
2 days before we started shooting. And there was some real concern that I wasn't going to recover in time to actually even be in the film because they had a very tight shooting schedule.
mm.
And so they juggled everything around and they started pushing my scenes. And I'm like testing every day, hoping to get that negative results. And that was the biggest challenge, just getting a negative result, getting to set, feeling like I was healthy enough to, now start, working and doing the long hours and so on. But the work itself wasn't in and of itself. Like Claire is such a great director. I really, Ignacio is such a talented young actor. The entire cast was so great to work with that being on set was really awesome. Just getting to set was the huge challenge.
Mm. You mentioned Ignacio, he plays Javier. Javier and Mr. Art, they have I don't want to say complicated relationship that they look up to each other pretty much in the film. Would you say?
I think so. There's mutual admiration in a sense. I
Yeah.
think they both, in some ways, want to be the other person. I see him as the younger kid. I want to relate to that. I want to be buddy buddy, and he sees me as the
Yeah.
teacher who has it all together and is more experienced. And so, but then they're trying to feel that out to see like if there can be a friendship beyond the student teacher relationship. And usually in life, teachers and students
Right.
shouldn't be necessarily friends. You know what I mean? Because it does complicate the relationship.
Yeah. You had some great scenes with them. Did you guys shoot off any ideas with each other how to do certain scenes, how to play a certain part?
Yeah, I mean, every scene we would run it the way it was written, but then we would also do a take that was sort of improvised where we're throwing in ad
Yeah.
libs. Um, but we were moving very quickly, so you have to give one or two clean takes, and then you get one take where you can kind of do something, a little bit off book, and that's usually all you get. So
Mm.
we moved very quickly, but I think that added to the spontaneity and the kind of naturalness of the whole thing.
They they throughout, when I was doing research on this, they keep comparing this to like a scream slash freaky teen comedy. Did you go back to watch anything to try to get an idea also like how you wanted to perform in this?
You know what? I didn't really. I focused more just on my character, and I thought
Okay.
about, teachers in movies that I had related to, and also teachers in my own life. And that sort of tone stuff, I left more to the director and the producers and the writer to kind of guide. And I just sort of really focused on, what I wanted my character to kind of be. But I knew a lot of the references. Like Jose, the writer, gave us like a spreadsheet of every film that had inspired him and how it was connected. So we had some literature on that, and I could, and I've seen those films, so I was able to like track that in the script.
Mm. The horror fans are going to tune in to watch this, and there's some pretty diehard fans out there. What are you hoping they remember mostly about your performance in this?
I I don't want to get too much into this I want there to be stuff for them to discover themselves, right?
Right.
Um but I just want the entire film to take them back to high school. And
Mm.
that's kind of what it did for us as actors. It's almost like we were experiencing it again. And I want everyone sitting in that theater to watch this and sort of see themselves up on that screen in some capacity in one of the characters and really relate to it on that level.
Mm. Every horror movie that's out there, there's always a sequel. What's your thoughts on it? Could you see a sequel down the road? Has the writer and the producer talked to you about this?
We just joke about it. Like, I think obviously it would depend on how well the film does, but like, sorry, excuse the pun, I would kill to work with Claire and Jose and the whole team again. Like, and I do think this kind of story does lend itself to more.
Right.
But nothing like us just wishing, but no actual concrete plans.
That's it. Departing seniors February 2nd. Yani, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes today. This was great.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Great meeting you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Cheers.